Having the right equipment is important, and so is choosing the right software to make music. But on top of it all, you need the right skills in order to make it as a singer-producer. And this video is about the skills needed for a singer with a laptop to create, finish, and actually share music. This is part 3 of the series How to Begin as a Singer-Producer, and this is where everything comes together. This video covers the real skills you must learn first, what to focus as a beginner, what to ignore as a beginner, and how to put out stuff rather than just following those tutorials. Hello guys, and welcome to Music in Progress. I'm Saurabh Shetye. I'm a singer, songwriter and producer who started his journey as a singer but then turned into the world of music production and now does both for a living. So let's move on quickly to the skills needed. Skill number 1 is ideate before making. What I mean by this is whatever you want to make, whether a cover of the song for your vocals or whether an original song, start with an idea first. In case of a cover, think about what kind of music you're going to be making when making that cover. What kind of genre, what kind of beats, and use whatever recorder is nearby to capture those thoughts out in terms of just vocals. So for example, say I have something like this in mind. So I just cover it all roughly so that when I actually sit down to make that project, I have a rough idea of what all layers I can use. Because when you get that idea to make, it's very important that you record it somewhere and capture the entire idea. So it gets very easy to recreate it later. Skill number 2, understand song structures. It's of course not important to stick by any single structure, but once you recognize and understand the kinds of structures there are in song making and songwriting, it's way easier to understand where you are at any point in a song. Have you recorded or composed that hook or the pre-hook, or understood how you're getting to the chorus? Or are you just doing a bridge element which is going to connect two choruses together? All of this can be understood only if your structure knowledge is proper. So just understand some basic song structures in whatever kind of music you're making so that it gets easier to make it and also convey it to someone else who might be collaborating with you on the project. Also, once you understand what structures look like, you can understand when your song is feeling too repetitive and where you can put the variations. Skill 3 is putting a song in your DAW. We already discussed what is a DAW in the last video, so if you haven't, do have a look there. But for the ones who are directly coming onto this, a DAW is the digital audio workstation, which is a software you're gonna use to compose and create your music. So before you even start recording anything on the DAW, you need to set some basic parameters like tempo, which is the speed of the song, key, which means the scale at which you're going to be singing the song. So before you fix on a key, maybe just experiment a bit and decide what's the best based on your vocal range. Now you can start putting on some basic chords on the set tempo in order to record your vocals on the track. Then you need to add some rhythm elements, or you can record with a metronome, but I'd recommend having some basic rhythm elements set so that you can understand what's the swing of the song and sing accordingly. Also, as you'll keep getting better in the music production, you'll understand how to keep space for vocals so that the music doesn't overpower the vocals and neither do the vocals overpower the music. Skill 4, recording vocals properly. So basically you have to understand a few parameters about recording vocals properly, which are the mic distance, how far or how close does the mic have to be so that it records properly and doesn't clip any of your vocals. Also, how to perform consistently so that even when you take a small break and do a different take of the vocals, it still all sounds like it's a single take. On that note, you also have to understand how to record multiple takes and keep some space for those takes that you might not be completely sure about but don't want to delete as of now. Furthermore, you need to understand which vocals can layer on top of those lead vocals so that the entire song sounds full and wide. Remember, a clean recording is a song half mixed. Skill 5 is understanding some core effects on the beginner level. You don't have to understand everything, but understanding these few core effects will really help you out in the long run as well. The first is EQ, which means understanding the frequencies of every instrument and your vocals so that you can remove all of the unwanted frequencies and create space for vocals, which makes the instruments and the vocals stick together in the song like glue. Second, compression. A basic level understanding of compression is sometimes you might sing too loud and sometimes you might sing too soft. But then in order to make all of it consistent and coherent, you need compression. What compression does is it reduces the loud parts of the vocals to a lower volume so that the entire vocal base is pretty much consistent, and then you can directly increase or decrease the volume of the vocals without clipping them. So understanding the right amount of compression can make vocals feel steady and present. Third is reverb, which is different from our fourth point, because what it creates is it emulates a room and a space within it. It makes your vocals and especially the vocal tails longer. And what you have to remember using reverb is avoid its overuse and understand the right amount of usage of reverb, which adds the perfect emotion. Fourth point, delay. So most people tend to confuse themselves with reverb and delay and echo. What delay does is it adds depth and movement because it repeats the signal that you have given to it and reducing the volume based on the feedback level so that it keeps on drowning out, but can really add a lot of depth to your vocals. What's important in delay is to use it creatively where there are spaces and not constantly, so that it sounds more like a hindrance than something good. And the last is limiter. What a limiter does is it prevents clipping by holding your levels of the vocals and of the entire track to a certain level, so that when you play it anywhere else on any other speaker, it does not clip and reduce the quality of the entire track. Basically, you can control how loud your track sounds without clipping or making it seem harsh. Skill 6 is exporting your track correctly. What you have to understand here is the difference between the different file formats, which is a WAV file versus an MP3 file, when to use what, in which case do you use a 44.1 kHz versus a 48 kHz WAV file, and keeping copies of every single track you make so that for whatever usage needed, you can send it across appropriately. It also means naming and organizing files properly as per their type in order to prevent any confusion. So try to avoid words like final 1, final 2, final 3, which does happen in many cases. But once your final master is done and your project is sorted, make sure to name that file correctly so that it stands out from all your other previous not final works. Skill 7 is finishing that song. This is the most underrated skill because you tend to chase for perfection and it prevents you from ever finishing a song. What you have to do is establish strict deadlines for your song finishing, song distribution, and the time when that song will be out. So even if you feel at this point it's not the perfect song, you still do have to finish it and come back to it later if need be. But right now, you need to fix a certain deadline based on how many days you take to finish a song. The best way to make progress here is by completing projects and implementing all the learnings in the future projects, because finished songs will teach you a lot more than unfinished masterpieces. And skill 8, the singer-producer mindset. Understand that your voice is an instrument. Understand that arrangement matters. Understand that the quality of your track that you keep making track after track after track should keep getting better every single track that you make, and keep putting out stuff. Doesn't matter if it's bad right now, but as long as you implement all the learnings about what you realized went wrong in this project. So those are the basic skills that you really require in order to begin as a singer-producer. Now let's recap. In the first part, we understood what is the basic equipment needed in order to start your journey. In the second part, we went through the software bit of it. We understood what might be a good software for you based on the kind of music you make and a lot of other factors. And in this part, we understood what are the skills needed in order to make it as a singer-producer. If this 3-part series even helped you a little, consider subscribing to our channel and liking this video, because your likes and comments are what keep us going and moving ahead. Also, tell me in the comments, what is a skill you're struggling with the most, and what else would you like to understand in the field of making it as a musician? I'll go through each comment and try to make the next videos for your answers. So create first and keep improving. This is Music in Progress.